because of Winn-Dixie, chapter 17. Well, Litmus came home from the war, said Miss Franny as she went on with her story, and found himself all alone. He sat down on what used to be the front steps of his house, and he cried and he cried. He cried like a baby. He missed his mama, he missed his daddy, he missed his sisters, he missed the boy he used to be. When he finally finished crying, he had the strangest sensation. He felt he wanted something sweet. He wanted a piece of candy. He hadn't had a piece of candy in years. It was right then that he made a decision. Yes, madam. Litmus W. Block figured the world was a sorry affair and it had enough ugly things in it, and he was going to do was concentrate on putting something sweet into it. He got up and started walking. He walked all the way to Florida. The whole time he was walking, he was planning. Planning what, I asked. Why, planning the candy factory. Did he build it, I asked. Of course he did. It's still standing out on Fairville Road. That old building, said Amanda. That old spooky one? It's not spooky, said Miss Franny. It was the birthplace of the family fortune. It was there that my great-grandfather manufactured the Litmus lozenger, a candy that was famous the world over. I've never heard of it, said Amanda. Me neither, I said. Well, said Miss Franny, they aren't made anymore. The world, it seems, lost its appetite for Litmus lozengers. But I still happen to have a few. She opened the top drawer of her desk. It was full of candy. She opened the drawer below that. It was full of candy, too. Miss Franny Block's whole desk was full of candy. Would you care for a Litmus lozenger? She asked Amanda and me. Yes, please, said Amanda. Sure, I said. Can Winn-Dixie have one, too? I have never known a dog who cared for hard candy, said Miss Franny, but he is welcome to have one. Miss Franny gave Amanda one Litmus lozenger and me two. I unwrapped one and held it out to Winn-Dixie. He sat up and sniffed it and wagged his tail. He took the candy from between my fingers real gentle. He tried to chew on it, and then that didn't work. He just swallowed the whole thing in one big gulp. Then he wagged his tail at me and laid back down. I ate my Litmus lozenger slow. It tasted good. It tasted like root beer and strawberry and something else that I didn't have a name for, something that made me feel kind of sad. I looked over at Amanda. She was sucking on her candy and thinking hard. Do you like it, Miss Franny asked. Yes, madam, I told her. What about you, Amanda? Do you like the Litmus lozenger? Yes, madam, she said. It makes me think of things I feel sad about. I wonder what in the world Amanda Wilkinson had to feel sad about. She wasn't new to town. She had a mama and a daddy. I'd seen her with them in church. There's a secret ingredient in there, Miss Franny said. I know it, I told her. I can taste it. What is it? Sorrow, Miss Franny said. Not everybody can taste it. Children especially seem to have a hard time knowing it's there. I taste it, I said. Me too, said Amanda. Well then, said Miss Franny, you're probably both had your share of sadness. I had to move away from Watley and leave all my friends, I said. This is one sadness I have had. And Dunlap and Steve Dewberry are always picking on me. That's another sadness. And the biggest one, the biggest sadness is my mama left me when I was still small. I can hardly remember her. I keep hoping I'll get to meet her and tell her some stories. It makes me miss Carson, said Amanda. She sounded like she was going to cry. I have to go. She got up and almost ran out of the Herman W. Block Memorial Library. Who's Carson? I asked Miss Franny. She shook her head. Sorrow, she said. It's a sorrow-filled world. But how do you put this in a piece of candy? I asked her. How do you get the taste in there? That's the secret, she said. That's why Litmus made a fortune. He manufactured a piece of candy that tasted sweet and sad at the same time. Can I have a piece to take to my friend Gloria Dump and another one to take to Otis down at Gertrude's Pets? And one for the preacher and one for Sweetie Pie too? You may have as many as you want, said Miss Franny, So I stuffed my pockets full of litmus lozenges, and I thanked Miss Franny for her story. And I checked out Gone with the Wind, which was a very big book, and I told Winn-Dixie to get up, and the two of us left and went over to Gloria Dumps. I rode right past the Dewberry's house. Dunlap and Stevie were playing football in the front yard. I was getting ready to stick my tongue out at them, but then I thought about what Miss Franny said about war being heck, and I thought about what Gloria Dunlap said, or Dump said, and about not judging them too hard. So I just waved instead. They stood and stared at me. But when I was almost all the way past, I saw Dunlap put up his hand in the air and waved back. "Hey," he hollered. "Hey, Opal." I waved harder. I thought about Amanda Wilkinson. I thought it was neat that she liked a good story the same way I did. I wondered again, though, who was Carson? And that's the end of chapter 17.